Hello everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. Today we're going to work on this block here, block number 4 in Hatched in Africa's Tiffany Prancer reindeer wall hanging. So this is the block we're going to work on today. So grab your top fabric, your lining, your mylar, if you're choosing to use the mylar on this project, and your thin batting, and let's head over to the machine and start stitching. Okay, we are at the machine. Now I have my 8x12 hoop in place, and I have loaded a piece of that water-soluble stabilizer in the hoop. I made sure I have a good amount of white bobbin thread down below, and I put white thread in the top of the machine. So we are ready to go to the screen, and we need to load the designs onto our embroidery machine. All right, and I have a dream machine for reference, in case you have something similar you can follow along on. So I'm going to click embroidery. I'm going to go to my flash drive, and I've loaded all the files on this flash drive in a folder I've called Prancer. And you ready? Today we're going to work on block number 4. We are getting there. All right. Oh, that's cool. It's going to get the first of the reindeer. Okay, go ahead and click set and click embroidery because we don't have to do anything to it. So we are ready to go. Fairly easy, huh? All right, you got this. So let's go to the hoop cam. Here we go. So we have white thread on top. We are ready to start stitching. So let's go ahead, put the foot down, and stitch out the placement line for our batting. Alright, so now we're going to put our batting down. Again, I'm using the thru batting, very thin. I've cut them into 8x12 pieces, so it fits very nicely right over this. Alright, let's put the foot down and tack it down. Nice. Okay, so now let's take the hoop off the machine. Let's take this over to the table, and we want to trim away this excess batting. Okay, so that's trimmed up nicely. Now we want to get our top fabric. Make sure you've got right sides up. How you can tell is that you've fused the back side already with your Paylon or SF101. So you put right sides up and then just line it up. Make sure you've got plenty on either side. Here's the batting. Here's the batting, and we're good. Then if you're using mylar in this project, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to lay down the piece of mylar just like that, so it covers everything. White thread still on the top. Put the foot down, and let's tack down the fabric and the mylar. Nice. See how that works in one step? You don't have to tape anything down afterwards either. Okay, so now we're ready to stitch, and I'm going to start with the pewter. And what we're going to do, like we've done in the past videos, is I'm going to fast forward and show you all of the stitching of the different colors, but I'm not going to stop in between. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the color name and number at the bottom of your screen as you see me load each thread. That way we can do one continuous feed, and you can see all of the stitch outs, and you'll know exactly what color we are when we get there. All right, let's put pewter thread up on top, and let's stitch this out. Again, as I get to each color, you will see the color change at the bottom of your screen with the name and the number. All right, you ready? Let's go. Okay, so now we're going to take it off the machine, take the hoop off the machine, and we're going to attach the back fabric to the back side. Whoops, as I hit the camera. So I turn it over, get your lining fabric, make sure you have it right side up, and there it is, and place it over the lines of the outer edge, and then go ahead and tape it down with some embroidery tape. I use Kimberbell's paper tape. Works very nicely. You can reuse it several times, and it holds the fabric in place and doesn't roll up and gunk up the bed. So then turn it over. Use your hand to make sure the corners lie flat, and you can kind of see through the stabilizer too that it's flat. And let's stitch out the tack down line, still with the pewter thread up on top. All right, this looks great. So let's take the hoop off the machine, take this over to the table, and you need to trim away the excess fabric here and the mylar, and then flip it over and trim off the excess fabric on the back side. Isn't this super pretty? Okay, so you've trimmed up the excess fabric on the front and on the back. Now, before we do anything else, put a bobbin in the bottom of your machine that is full of the pewter thread. We want the top thread, the pewter satin stitches, to match the bottom, and vice versa, the bottom match the top, because we want this to be one solid color. So when you flip the quilt or the wall hanging over, you're going to see a nice stained glass effect on the back side. You won't see a mix of white bobbin thread and pewter thread, which looks kind of yucky. So put a bobbin in the bottom that has the pewter thread that will match this top part, and everything is going to look great. All right. Okay, we've got the last step. We've got a 13-minute stitch out. So let's stitch out the satin stitches. And remember, matching thread in your bobbin. Okay, let's go. know, this is so pretty. I have a sneaking feeling I'm going to be doing all of their designs that are in mylar. This is just stunning. It's going to look like stained glass. It truly is. It's going to be amazing. So now that we're done stitching this out, let's take this over to the table and finish up this block. Isn't this gorgeous? Okay, so the next step that we need to do with this block, now that we have it out of the hoop, is we just need to trim away the excess of the water-soluble stabilizer. And just leave about 1/4 inch around all sides, because that way that'll be a nice small amount for us to deal with at the end when we go to take it off with water, because this is water-soluble. So we just want enough off, but we don't want to go too close because we don't want to nick the satin stitches, because then we would have to do the block all over again. That would not be fun. So just trim off a little bit there. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, now just like we've done in the previous blocks in this project, we need to take out the pretty mylar from these stained glass panel areas here that are open. Okay, and again, this is really easy. All we're going to do is take your bent scissors and you're going to go in and you're going to start the process. Okay, and I use the blade to kind of lift up to do the separating for me by the stitches. All right, I'm really not cutting unless I have to, because I don't want to nick the stitches. But I've got one edge there, and I will use that edge. And I'll take this one off too. Just lift up, use the blade. Then that gives me some leverage. Then I can try to get it to tear, even in the corners, very cleanly with a little bit of a head start. Now this has a mind of its own. It likes to stick its data clean. Just use your scissors, do a tap and keep that down. And then there you go. You've got one section done. I'll show you again. Just use your blade to do kind of the separating part from the stitches. Satin stitches are really clean to go up against. I like doing those. And then if I have to start it, I'll start it with a little bit of a snip, and then it'll come off. And then I just need to worry about this corner area here. The corners are going to be where it gets a little tight and may not come off cleanly. And that's when you'll go later at the end with a pair of tweezers, and you'll just go in and you'll grab that little piece that is in the corner if you can't grab it with your fingers. Okay? So let's continue on and do all these other open sections, and I'll meet you back here when it's done. All right, isn't that gorgeous? Can you believe it? We did it. Again, a little trick. Keep a little bottle, a spray bottle that helps keep the staticky mylar off of you for the most part. And now, look what you did. You did it. Are you ready? We're now going to put together what you've done so far. Can you see that? it down a little bit. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look what you've done. You have just completed 4 blocks in this amazing, amazing project. This is going to be stunning. I cannot wait to do the next block. So I hope you had as much fun today as I did making this block and are excited to make the next one. Please subscribe to my channel. It helps me do what I do, and I truly appreciate it. And also click the bell notifications. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And click the like button because YouTube likes to see people like the videos. I'm super excited to work on the next block. So I will see you here on Jolly Molly TV very shortly. All right? Until then, everybody take care. Bye-bye.